Have you ever been scrolling through your favorite social media artist and thought to yourself, wow, I really love their style. I wonder what my OC would look like if they drew it. You scroll a little more and you come across commissions. In exchange for money, you could see your character drawn in their style. Hello, my name is Mov, and today I'm going to talk to you about commissions while I, in fact, draw some of my commissions. So, you're an artist or a client looking for artwork or looking to start commissions. Well, you've come to a good enough place. To describe some of the process, I'm using a client that I work with a lot. We have a pretty, at this point, I've done quite a few commissions for them, and we have a pretty routine that we do where she starts telling me the lore of this character, how they fit into her campaign in D&D, and I soak it up every time. I have so much inspiration from the way that she does her lore and stuff. But she gives me a ton of references, most of the time specifically what she's looking for in the face, hair, eyes, armor, clothes, background, style, all of these sorts of things. So I compile them, as you saw a moment ago, into big pieces on my canvas, and then I go look for references. The first two commissions are this kind of series that is going to look like a painting you'd find in a castle. So I look for some Baroque paintings that kind of have the vibe that I'm looking for, and I just quickly jot down the composition that I tend to get drawn towards the most. So for this commission that you're seeing, I really liked the composition of this woman sitting to the side with her arms crossed delicately as she looks into the camera. And so I kind of roughly get in my proportions. This first sketch was a little too much in my usual style, and I wanted something a little more semi-realistic. It's still in my style, but it's what I would call semi-realistic, so I take a step back, I get some fresh eyes, and I go at it again. And I pay attention to the fat of the hands, and, the way that she's posed, and I take into account the outfit that my commissioner sent me for me to draw this character in. Now, when I'm unsure of how to go about a digital painting, I will often color pick from my reference photo just to get colors down. So for this one, I'm using the skin tones that were in that painting. I roughly, just block in general shapes and colors. These aren't what I'm gonna stick with, but it's more like when you have a blank sketchbook and you're really scared to draw on the first page, so you just, maybe it's a watercolor sketchbook and you just throw down a bunch of shit and then you go from there. And it's just to make you less afraid. So that's what I do, is I just pick some colors and I start splashing them down, and then as you see, I add a layer over it, and then I go in with the actual colors I'm gonna go with. Now, for people who are wanting to open their commissions, it's really important for, one, to not undersell yourself because you're not making a profit, and also you deserve to be paid for your work, and two, try to find what kind of market your audience is looking for. If you draw primarily portraits of people, I wouldn't necessarily suggest you opening pet portraits. There's always a huge market of people looking to get their pet drawn, but it might be harder for them to find you considering people who are not really interested in, say, D&D, well, they're not really looking at too many non-D&D accounts. People can have other fandoms, of course, and such, but it's all about trying to find out what market you have in your peripherals. For me, obviously, I'm very D&D oriented. I get a lot of commissions that aren't for D&D, for general character design, because while my main focus is D&D, I do also just do character design. So, by marketing myself towards that specific group of people, I find more commissions that are in the realm of things that I would like doing more. In terms of price, Well, you have to decide how many commission options you're going to have. Most people go, if you have a graphical style, they'll go sketch, line art, black color, and full shade. Mix and match between those. Some people only do, sketch, line art, or full color. They don't even add in the flat color. Or if people don't do shading, then they do flat color, of course. But it's all about deciding how far into the process you want to go for commissions. Some people only do sketches, some people only do portraits or head busts. Some people only do full bodies, and that's all you'll ever see of their commissions. So you have to decide, what are you willing to put in the effort for money, essentially. Now, to get back onto the topic of pricing, that is all up to the artist. Some people do price their stuff lower because art is a hobby, or maybe they don't have that big of a following yet, and they also just want experience. If you haven't tried commissions before, I do suggest going for a lower price than what you might see around you, just because you're beginning and you want to dip your toes in, and for you to find out your commission process, you also want to make it easier on the people who are commissioning from you, considering it'll be your first time getting paid to make artwork for other people. It is a big investment that is very much well worth it. I'm pretty sure when I started doing commissions a couple of years ago, my most expensive commission was probably, I'd say, $40 for a full-colored, full-body, character, which is still pretty high, but at the time I did have quite a big an audience, since I waited until I was able to get my own card from a bank and open up an account. It took me a while to get to that point, which is why it took me a while, even though I had been doing art for a long time, to actually start doing commissions. Now, my prices personally have fluctuated over the years. The most expensive commission I've had at one time is actually this series that I'm doing. My client paid for 3 pieces in total, so that was about $315 for them, and I've been working on them as much as possible as I can. For $315 right now, what they got was 1 half body, 2 half bodies, and 1 full body. Granted, now, this is also my discounted prices, as I'm going through a bit of a I need to pay medical bills emergency right now, and with the help of Patreon and discounting my commissions by 10%, 20%, I'm trying to save up to pay off these medical bills. Normally, commissions of this degree probably would have totally costed up to $360, I think. I don't remember the math. But they've been cheaper and they've been higher before. It all depends on how much I need the money at the moment, and if, it's kind of a slow day and I just want to do some art for some people who normally can't afford my prices. Which is to say, it's all up to you, really. I can't really tell someone how cheap or how expensive they should price their commissions, because what you need is what you need, and there will always be a market. Someone will be willing to pay your prices. They just haven't found you yet. In terms of getting that payment, well, of course, the obvious is there. Get a bank account, set up a Cash App or Venmo or whatever you prefer. But now it comes down to, what is the commission process particularly? Well, for starters, I always ask my commissioners to give me any artwork that they have of their character, or if they do not have artwork, to give me written descriptions and references from Pinterest, from inspiration boards, wherever they can find a picture that will at least somewhat represent a depiction of what they want. I can work with it. As I said, my usual client, she will send me a barrage of reference images, of which I'm so grateful for. I'll also get color palettes and such. It all just really depends on what they have available, but I definitely recommend asking for references instead of written descriptions. Working from pictures with a few notes here and there is a lot easier than having to come up with it on your own, just in case your idea and their idea is a little different. So then, you have your reference images, you tell them the price, and now what? Well, for starters, I never, ever recommend for people starting out for you to accept payment after the artwork is done. Just because, it's, scams happen on both sides of the coin. If you wait until after the artwork is done to pay someone, then they might take the artwork and run off with it. Even if you only sent them a low quality version of it, it is still artwork that they got from you for free, essentially. But if you pay someone up front, then they can kind of take however long as they want, because they already have your money, and you're just waiting on their product. It really depends on what you're most comfortable with. A lot of people I know take half up front, half later, so that one, it's not a full investment on the client's end, and if you're strapped for cash, then you still get some money, and you'll be extra motivated to finish that commission to get the rest of the money that you need. Because I typically work really fast, I tend to accept my commission's full payment up front, and then I send multiple sketches, multiple updates, and I let them... Because my prices are very high, I don't really put a price on how many changes someone can make. I really don't mind that too much, just because I'm trying to get them artwork and they're trying to see their vision. And, when everything is said and done, you figure out your payment method, you figure out what they want to see drawn, then all that's left really is to draw it. There's not much else I can say in the terms of commission process, because you'll find what you like in your process and what you don't like. It really depends. There is also people I know who offer different prices for different commission styles. I'm one of those. Now, I flop back and forth between the styles that I decide to do at a given moment, and they don't always stick around. For this one, normally, for a half bodies, I would do line art and color, shading, backgrounds, all that. But because this commission wanted it to look as if it was a painting that you would find at a castle, I wanted to make it more thematically fit that style and that vision. So I made it look like it was painted, instead of thick, harsh black lines like my line art. And, as with everything, that's purely up to the artist's discretion whether or not you would do something like that. My commissions over the years have went from heavy line art to being entirely painted, to being lasso tooled, to being just all sorts of stuff. My tastes have grown over the years, and so have my styles in artwork. So it's really just about adapting and making sure that what you're doing, you enjoy. Now, that's all I have really to say about the commission process. There's a ton of nuance in it, and, things, as I continuously keep saying, it's really just up to personal preference as to what you want to do with it. I had a lot of fun doing these two commissions. I'm currently working on the third one, but I've taken a really long time to get this video up, so you'll have to excuse me on not letting you guys see the third one. I'm really, I've been so tired this week, to be completely honest. I've been trying to think of different things that I could offer my patrons, just to, really bump up that side as I'm waiting to get, more watch hours before I can start to be monetized by YouTube. So that's really fun. I'm really excited about that. If you haven't seen my announcement on my community tab, I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and I say it at every milestone. It's unreal. I cannot believe it, actually. I got, the email from YouTube, a couple of days ago saying, you hit 1,000 subscribers! And I almost bawled my eyes out. I was, in shock, almost. So, I want to do, a 1K subs, video, celebration, something. I know that I have plans in the future that if I get at least 100 or maybe even 150 patrons, that I might be able to open a sticker tier, or just change one of the tiers to sticker tier. I will say, I previously did not have anyone subscribe to my $10 tier, which is the tier that helps people decide my video topics, and I had one person subscribe to the $10 tier and then request Ninjago, so I know that a lot of people asked for Ever After High in the poll for what D&D party I would design next, but I don't know. If other people subscribe to the $10 tier and tell me that they want Ever After High or what else they want, I have to listen to my patrons, so you pay what you get for. So right now, Ninjago and Ever After High are on the line for which will be next. So, I want to give a big thank you to all of my subscribers on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. It's actually crazy. And special thank you to my patrons! They include Octopus Lion, Rain Falling Into Your Coffers, that's my $10, and Elliot McNeil. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time. I have nothing else to say. Goodbye!